Hello everyone, I am Rahul sir, your management educator. As you know that our crash course on most important topic of management is going here. We are discussing the unit number 9, International Business and Information Technology. Before this video, we have covered 2 lectures on international business. In first one, we have discussed the introduction. In second one, we have discussed the IB theories of international trade, and today we are going to discuss the balance of payment. Before starting, there is an important information for you that UGC NET Paper 2 Management course is already started. We are providing the UGC NET Paper 2 course. If you take this course, you will get complete video lectures, full syllabus notes, test series, and PYQ PDF with detailed explanation. This is going to be a target-based preparation. If you take this Paper 2 course, you will get Paper 1 totally free. Here you have to just download the app. After downloading and login, when you log in, you will see this home interface. You have to click the store button, this second one, and select. After scrolling, you will get the UGC NET Paper 2 Management, or you can simply search UGC NET Paper 2 Management in the search box. You will get this course, and after buying, you can access this content which we have provided. It is very structured and comprehensive content. You can take the benefit n number of times. The fees of this the validity of the course is 1 year, and the fees of the course is 7,000 rupees. You just have to contact on the given number to join the batch. After joining, you will be added to that WhatsApp group. Let's see what is balance of payment. The balance of payment is the statement that files all the transaction between the entities, government entities, or the individuals of one country to the another for a given period of time. What it simply means, जितनी भी transactions किसी और कंट्री के साथ अपनी कंट्री की किसी और दूसरी कंट्री के साथ जितनी भी ट्रांजैक्शन होगी, उसका रिकॉर्ड कौन रखेगा? That record will be kept by balance of payment. Okay, all the transaction details are mentioned in a statement given by the authority a clear vision of the flow of funds. It indicates the balance of payment indicates the flow of funds which is provided in a statement form. Okay, balance of payment is just a financial statement. Let's see. Here is the clear view of a balance of payment. This is a specimen of balance of statement where you can get easily that there exist 3 accounts, that is current account, capital account, official financing account, or we also say official reserve account. So this is like a financial statement which is nowadays, earlier it used to be in L shape, in T shape, but now it is in vertical form. Okay. So here the exports versus imports, balance of trade, then we have credit, debit, we can get net visibles. All these things are there which are covered in the capital in the balance of payment statement. Let's see one by one. What's the features of balance of payment? Balance of payment is a systematic record of all the economic transaction between one country and the rest of the world. If whatever the country transacts, do transaction with another country or all over the world, it will be recorded in the balance of payment. Point 2, it includes all the transaction visible as well as invisible. Remember that the balance of trade will record only the visible transactions, but the balance of payment will record both visible and invisible transaction. It is very much important. This type of question can be asked in the statement-wise question. Remember this. Then it relates to the period of the time. Generally, it is an annual statement. General balance of payment is not for 2-3 years combined. This is not. It is prepared annually at as a like a financial statement or balance sheet. Okay. Then it adopts the double entry bookkeeping system. It has 2 sides, credit side and the debit side. Receipts are recorded on the credit side and the payments are recorded on the debit side. The same accounting funda is here applied, that CR you have to the receipt side, receipt transaction, whatever the company is getting from the other country, it will be recorded in the credit side, and whatever the payments made by the one country from one country to the another country will be recorded at the debit side. DP you can remember, all of you have DP on your WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook group. So DP you can remember here also. By debit side, what will come in the debit side? All the payments will come, and on the credit side, receipts transaction will be recorded. Now let's understand this chart will give you a clear understanding of what is balance of trade and what is balance of payment. Balance of trade. The balance of trade refers to the difference between the exports and imports of the visible item. In previous, in the main last slide, we have discussed that balance of trade will cover only the visible items. But here, in case of balance of payment, it refers to an accounting statement that is the that shows the economic transactions of resident with the rest of the world in each period. In a particular year, how many times a country has transaction of what amount the transaction has been done with another country, everything will be recorded in a statement which will be called as balance of payment. Okay, then here are what are the components of balance of trade. The balance of trade only includes the visible items, but the balance of payment includes the visible item, invisible item, unilateral transfers, and capital transfers. All these things will be included in the balance of payment. Sometimes NTA asks the question that which of the following are part of balance of trade, or which of the part of balance of payment. So you remember only balance visible items in trade. The rest you can eliminate if you task regarding the balance of payment. Okay. Then point 3, capital transaction. Balance of trade does not record any capital transaction, but balance of payment includes the capital transaction. Okay. Then scope. Balance of payment is just dealing with the import and export of visible items. So its scope will be obviously narrow, but the balance of payment is comprehensive in nature. So it is scope is wider. Okay. Then the settlement. The negative balance on the balance of trade can be set up by balance of payment account in the balance of payment account. Remember this, that in generally in syllogism, just a second, let me show you here. This is what, this is, बोलोगे सर क्या कर रहे हैं? This is your balance of payment, and this is what, this is BOT, balance of trade. Balance of, if you say, if anyone says all balance of trade will be part of balance of payment, but if you convert this, reverse this statement, it will not follow. Okay, it was, I was just telling this. Then we were at the last point, that the settlement, the negative balance will be set on at the balance of BOP account. But in case of balance of payment, the negative balance in the BOP can never be set off against the positive balance of trade. Okay, if the BOT is negative, but BOP is, if BOP gets negative, you can't settle it by using the BOT balance. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now let's understand the types of accounts which exists in the balance of payment. In this slide, you had seen that three types of account exist, that current account, capital account, and official financing account. So let's understand one by one. The current account scans all the all the incoming and outgoing goods and services between the countries. All the payments made for the raw material and constructed goods are recovered under this account. Okay. Then it will record all the items, outgoing and incoming payments related to the visible items. Few other deliveries that are included in this category are from the tourist engineering, stock, business services, transportation, and royalties from the license and copyrights. These all will included in the current account of balance of payment. All these combine together to make a BOP of a country. All these transactions which are coming in the current account will contribute to make the balance of payment. Then components of just a second. Let's see this diagram, that is components of current accounts. What are the components of current account? We will discuss that. Current account is includes three things, that is trade in goods, trade in services, and transfer payment. That in case of trade in goods, there will be three things, that export of goods and import of goods. In case of trade in services, there will be net factor income and net income factor income, net non-factor income. Sorry, net non-factor and net factor income will be there in case of service. This non-factor income again will be divided into shipping, banking, insurance, tourism, software services, etc. Because these are indirect incomes are being received. So this will be considered in the trade in services. Okay. Then the transfer will consider of the gifts, remittance and grants. This will be considered as unilateral transfer. We can call it as a beggar type transfer. Beggar things will come under the unilateral transfer. Okay, then in case of net factor income will further divided into two parts. This one will be divided into two parts again, here and here. That is net income from the compensation to the employees. What will come? The compensation to the employees will come, and net investment income will come. Whatever the investment income you have done, net investment, the income which you are getting will be recorded in the net factor income. Okay, so let's see a quick let's revise quickly. Trade in goods में क्या आएगा? Export of goods, import of goods. Then trade in services में क्या आएगा? Net factor income and net non factor income. Net factor income में क्या आएगा? Net factor में आएगा अपना कंपेंसेशन जो एम्प्लॉय को देंगे, और जो इन्वेस्टमेंट से अपने को नेट इनकम मिलेगा वो यहाँ पे आएगा. ओके, उसके बाद जो नेट नॉन फैक्टर इनकम है, नॉन फैक्टर इनकम में क्या आएगी? शिपिंग, बैंकिंग, इंश्योरेंस, टूरिज्म, सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विसेज एक्सेट्रा. और जो ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स विल कम, गिफ्ट, ग्रांट्स, ऑल जो जितनी भी भिखारी वाली ट्रांजेक्शन है वो सारी यूनिलैटरल ट्रांसफर में आ जाएगी. I hope the current account is clear. Now let's see the capital account. Capital transactions are like the purchase and sale of the assets, non-financial, like the lands, properties, and are monitored under this account. Okay. So whatever the financial assets and financial long-term investments will be recorded in the capital account. This account also records the flow of taxes, acquisition, and sale of fixed asset. It will record the taxes, acquisition, and flow of fixed asset in immigrants moving into the different countries. This the shortage or excess in the current account is governed by the finance from the capital account and vice versa. Okay. Whatever the shortage will come in the current account will be governed by the finance from the capital account. The money from the funds from the capital account will be taken to balance the current account. Okay. So this is all about the capital account, that it will deal with all the financial and long-term transactions. Then what are the components of capital accounts? Capital accounts में क्या क्या आता है? Let's see. That is investment, external borrowings, and external assistance. Let's see. You can remember like this. IBA. Like IDA is there, na? International Development Association. We will discuss it soon. Don't worry. But here we have to remember IBA. IEBA. That is what? Investments, external borrowings, and external assistance. Okay. Then we have in investment, you will see two things, that is DP. Again, DP, direct investment and portfolio investment. In case, what is direct investment subjected to? Direct investment will cover your FDI, equity capital, reinvested retained earnings. All these things will come under the direct investment. Then in case of portfolio investment, portfolio cover the FFI, foreign institutional investment, offshoring funds. This will be covered in the portfolio investment. Then in case of capital account will cover the external borrowings, like external borrowing will cover the external commercial borrowings, short-term debt. It will cover the short-term debt and external assistance. External assistance will cover the government aid, intergovernmental, multilateral and bilateral loans. This will be covered under the external assistance. So remember this IEBA means the investment, external borrowings and external assistance. Okay, then in assistance, all the government fundings then and both type of multilateral and bilateral loan will come here. Then in external borrowings, short-term debt will come. Then in case of investment, the DP will come, direct investment and portfolio investment. Okay, the portfolio will, the direct investment will be related to FDI and the portfolio will related to FII and offshore funds. I hope. Now let's understand what's the difference between current account and capital account. अब अपन ने देख तो लिए कि दोनों में क्या क्या आता है, अब ये भी तो देखना चाहिए ना डिफरेंस क्या है. कुछ असर्स एंड रीजन बना दिया, स्टेटमेंट बना दिया तो अपन तो घुमा देंगे. आजकल घुमाने पे बहुत फोकस कर रहे हैं एनटीए वाले. सो अपने को घूमने का नहीं है, अपने को सब क्वेश्चन का आंसर we should be able to know, we should be able to reply all the answer all the questions accurately. So I am telling you this small things, that current account brings changes in the current level of income of the economy. The current level of income of economy will change as per the changes will be made in the current account. If any changes comes in the current account, the current level income will be affected. Okay, then in case of capital account, it brings changes in the capital stock of the company. Capital stock will be affected by changes made in the capital account, which affects the earning capacity. Earning capacity will be affected by which account? Earning capacity will be affected by capital account. Okay, then we have, it is a flow concept because it includes all the items which are flow in nature. It is a flow concept. Current account is a flow concept because it all items which are flow in nature, like goods transfers, visible items, invisible. So all the visible items will come. So this is what this will come is a flow type transaction. So it will cover flow, and it is the stock concept. Stock capital account is a stock concept because it includes all the items that are of stock nature, like financial assets. Financial assets will not flow from one place to another. No, they will be stable. So it is a stock concept. Then point 3 comes, components of current account are export and import of visible and invisible items, unilateral transfers, and from rest of the world. Okay, to and from the rest of the world. And the components of capital account will be investment to and from rest of the world, whatever the investment made to the world and from the world, and whatever the savings and lendings to and from the rest of the world, and foreign exchange reserve. Foreign exchange reserves will come in the current capital, will come under the capital account. Remember that. If anytime match the column type action option comes, question comes in exam, that capital account will be matched through foreign exchange reserves or any sort of long-term investment. Then what will be the flow type account? Flow type account will be the current account. And what will be the stock type account? Stock type account will be the capital account. Let's see the finance account. What is the finance account? The funds that flow to and from the other countries through investment, like real estate, foreign direct investment, business enterprises, etc. It is recorded in the finance account. These accounts are calculated in the foreign proprietor of the domestic assets and the domestic proprietor of the foreign assets. Suppose this accounts deals at quite to some extent at a personal level, that the domestic asset of a foreign investor will be proprietor will be recorded in his, and if a domestic proprietor has assets in the foreign country, he will record in his books. Okay, and analyzes it is acquiring or selling more assets like stock, gold, or equity, etc. So finance account is the very rarely used. Mostly the most important are these two, current account and capital account. Then comes the disequilibrium in the balance of payment. What is disequilibrium? Disequilibrium means when the equilibrium does not exist. When there is no equilibrium, no stability exists, we can call it as disequilibrium. That it is simply means that when the imports and the is not equal to exports. when both are equal, then when both these two are equal, exports and imports will be equal. It will be equilibrium position, equilibrium. But whenever this will not be equal, this will call disequilibrium. कितना अच्छी लिखाई है ना मेरी. Jokes apart, I hope I am. That's why shouting, because you might not understand my writing. So let it be. Disequilibrium in the balance of payment means that a condition of a surplus or deficit. A surplus in the BOP occurs when the total receipts exceeds the total payment. When the receipts are more, there will be surplus. Surplus can be quite beneficial, but the BOP creditor or the credit side is is smaller than the debit side. A deficit in that BOP occurs when the total payments exceeds the total receipts. When the total payments will be greater than total receipts, it will be case of deficit. And when the total receipts are greater than total payment, it will be what? Surplus. In both the cases, there are chances of disequilibrium, because to some extent the both sides should be equal in case of balance of payment, that is debit on credit side. Just a second. So I told you just when the deficit condition will be there and when will be the surplus condition. When the TP is greater than TR, means the payments are greater, deficit. And when the receipts are greater, then will be surplus. Then when receipts are greater, you can just say, remember this in another way, like you remember just RS and DP. Means deficit will be the payment, and when the payments are greater, and receipts, when the receipts are greater, there will be surplus. I hope this is clear. Now let's understand the causes behind the disequilibrium in balance of payment. What are the causes? These are very common things. This will not be asked in most elaborative way. Just you need to remember these causes. That unfavorable balance of trade. When the BOT is unfavorable, disequilibrium occurs. Then development programs. Sometimes there are development programs. At this time, company changes their plans. So this also cause disequilibrium. Then the high population growth. There is a countries like China, India, there is a population growth is very high. So here also the exports and imports may not be equal. So at that time, disequilibrium is chance to happen. Then demonstration effect. Demonstration effect is also when sometimes some things are not liked by people, and natural factors will, like natural calamities, or there is a scarcity of natural resources. At that time, disequilibrium occurs. Then inflation. When the costs are highly rising costs, at that time inflation occurs. Same time, disequilibrium will be high. And huge external borrowings. If a country borrows large amount of money from the another country, it will result in disequilibrium. And political conditions. If proper political conditions will not be stable, they may vary from country to country. If any country makes certain announcements, so it will affect the disequilibrium it will be cause of the disequilibrium in the balance of payment. I hope this is clear. Let's see the types of disequilibrium. Disequilibrium, there are total 5 types of disequilibrium in BOP. You just need to remember the keywords. Structural disequilibrium. When the structural changes take place in some sectors of the economy that affect the import-export of the trade of the country, resulting in the structural disequilibrium. When the structure. Some changes will be placed in the structural changes will be placed in the economic sectors. They will result in the structural disequilibrium. Then the fundamental disequilibrium. This is the most dangerous one. Remember this. The fundamental disequilibrium is the most dangerous type of disequilibrium because it occurs when the country suffers through disequilibrium in the BOP. Then according to the IMF, it will be called as fundamental disequilibrium. If IMF checks that the country is suffering disequilibrium from the longer time, it will be called as fundamental disequilibrium. Then the temporary disequilibrium. Temporary disequilibrium is the short-term factors account for the temporary disequilibrium in BOP. When there is a for short-term factors like some small sources of production are scarce, or any issues are related to the import and export related formalities. So at that time there can be disequilibrium occur, but after resolving those issues, the conditions will be normal. So it will come back to the equilibrium position. So what it was for the temporary period, then that's why it is called as temporary disequilibrium. Then comes cyclical disequilibrium. Cyclical disequilibrium generally occurs due to changes in the phases of business cycle. You might have heard about the business cycle. There are 5 stages. The disequilibrium caused by the trade cycles, terms of trade, and growth of trades undergo a change as a result of trade cycles. It affects the BOP. It can be corrected by import-export adjustment. The BOP is cyclic disequilibrium occurs due to the trade cycles, and it can be corrected by the export-import adjustment. Then last we have the secular disequilibrium. The secular disequilibrium occurs when a company, when an economy undergoes the intensive changes in the it causes a long-term disequilibrium in the BOP. When the secular long-term BOP caused through secular changes, this is called as a secular disequilibrium. Okay. Now let's see what type of measures can be taken to overcome the problem of BOP disequilibrium. So BOP measures to correct the BOP disequilibrium can be depreciation can be used, then currency devaluation can be used, then control on imports, export promotion. You can always remember that exports should be encouraged and imports should be discouraged. Then exchange controls will be there. Then production of imports and substitutes, production of imports substitutes. Then monetary policy, capital import, monetary policy and capital import. These are all the measures to control the BOP disequilibrium. What you if the depreciation will be done, you can reduce the value and bring it to the actual position. But currency devaluation is also one of the measure can be used. Then import should be controlled. Excessive import should not be allowed. Proper export should be promoted for the from the both sides. It will help. And the control over exchange of currencies should be there. And production of import substitutes. If some import substitutes, if a country manufactures some substitutes in its own country by using its local resources, then it will don't need to import from the foreign country. It will be beneficial for us because beneficial for us, not beneficial for that country, because it will help us to save a lot of money. And then monetary policy of a country and capital import. All these were measures to control the disequilibrium, or measures to correct the disequilibrium. So that's all in today's session. I hope you might have understood the BOP balance of payment concept, balance of trade, and all the things related to disequilibrium and all that. Thank you. Bye. We will meet in next video. If you like just hit the like button if you like the video.